Keen. He joins me now from Trang in Thailand. Steve, thank you for your time. Now, Hertz has been around since 1918, so this is a very telling sign for the car rental industry that it's now filed for bankruptcy. How will this filing of bankruptcy work in terms of the company's business model?
Well, I think the business model in general for so it effectively support services for international tourism is completely destroyed. There may only be one or two survivors. It certainly won't be the basis of a global business anymore as it was for Avis and Hertz. So I think the days of international tourism are gone, if at least for a decade. And so like I see, this is just the first of several. I really think only small operators servicing a local market are likely to continue.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the first high-profile bankruptcy we've seen since this outbreak began. I mean, U.S. retailers like JCPenney, Neiman Marcus, and J.Crew have all filed for bankruptcy because of the pandemic. How do you expect others in the vehicle rental industry to now fare, especially those that are a little bit smaller?
Well, again, I think the smaller ones might actually have a chance to survive because they won't be necessarily covering the level of gearing that companies like Hertz have. Bear in mind that one of the reasons it's hitting so badly is that the financial crisis in 2008 was caused by an excessive level of private debt. Mainstream economists have never got their heads around this, but that was what caused the crisis. And in the aftermath to the crisis, the quantitative easing program effectively encouraged those corporations to continue borrowing. And America in particular now has the highest level of corporate debt in its history at about 82% of GDP. So, of course, that means they're incredibly fragile to the lack of cash flow that's coming through because of the coronavirus. And I think a large number of those corporations are going to fail.
Yes, Steve, but almost every single industry has been affected by this global pandemic, although some parts of the world are now slowly opening up. Economies are restarting with many restrictions, though, still in place. How do you see the global economic outlook shaping up until the end of this year?
Well, end of this year is still pretty devastating because the number of countries that are successfully crushing the virus, and that includes Thailand, where I am, about 45 countries. But the largest of those by far is China. It's 10 times the size economically of any other country. So those countries can open up business, both at the domestic level and also in terms of large factories, without having any worry about resparking an outbreak. The countries that are in the situation where any attempt to reopen can cause a second wave are some of the largest countries on the planet economically. Obviously America, the UK, most of the European Union. So if they go back to reopening again, I think we'll see a second wave in those countries, and that will again crush the economy once more.
Steve Keen, I really appreciate your analysis and your time. Live to us there from Trang in Thailand.